getting onto the musical track and everything, more than like talking about the tour and everything, because the next year is your 20th anniversary.
21st.
I really wanted to talk about what the last, I mean, how much reminiscing do you actually do these days? How much looking back and like thinking about?
Well, this year's the I'm going to come to the end of the 20th year of being involved in rock and roll, and 20 successful years apart. Yeah, it's more or less 20 successful years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when you actually sit down and think 20 years, it seems a long time, but when on reflection, I don't actually, I mean, my years with Sabbath was 10 years. They don't seem, it seems like, it's like I went to school, I remember my teens, I remember Black Sabbath, and I never thought, I remember thinking at the time of Black Sabbath, I can't see beyond Black Sabbath.
Right.
I can't see anything without Black Sabbath. Now I've left Sabbath and I'm my own sort of person. I look back then and I think, fucking hell.
You can't see to it?
I'm thinking, what the fuck was in your head then? Because you never know what tomorrow brings. And I always believed, I'm one of these guys that thinks it's never going to get any better than what it is now. I'm always going to be beyond dragging my arse.
You're going to be the eternal pessimist,
maybe? I'm fucking always pessimistic, this ain't going to work, fuck that ain't going to work. And it's kind of a nice, pleasant surprise when it does work,
right,
but there's a good side of being a pessimist, because when you do get success, it's like, wow!
It's the
I knew it all the time,
Right, you're not setting yourself up for anything.
But it's like, it's funny, we were just talking about this, I was looking at a book that one of the guys in Zach bought me for Christmas about the Beatles, and I'm reading a newspaper clipping about Paul McCartney when he left the Beatles, and I read it and he said the Beatles have been together for 10 years, and I thought, fucking hell, man. When I was around, when the Beatles were around, they seem to have been around forever.
A lifetime, right. Can you look back, can you look back at that period and place yourself in history as it is? I mean, Black Sabbath are a part of history. I mean, Lars and James are two of my best friends.
Yeah.
And me and James the other night was talking about the fact that, you're as much part of history as anything.
The funniest part of that the whole incident is we never knew what the fuck we were about. And I always thought we weren't very good,
Right.
I always just think, Iron Man was a good riff, Paranoid was a good riff, but on the whole, I didn't think we were that good a band. We're all fucked up on drugs and booze all the time. Every day I was high, I was drunk. Every single day I was fucking... So in actual fact, a lot of it's like a drunken haze. It was all okay because I was always under the influence of something. So there wasn't really... And anything bad that happened, we never really took it seriously because we would just go down the pub and get pissed again,
Which in a way is good and in a way it's bad because
Sure, we missed out on a lot of reality.
Do you feel you missed... when you look back at those years, do you feel you have missed out on remembering them?
No, I do remember, but I don't remember them as severely as I should because, we were getting ripped off by Patrick Moon, but lots of dough, and we knew it was lots of dough. But we really didn't have a clue of how to get to the bottom of it. Because we would always, fucking throw another gram of Coke and a bottle of whiskey and it'd be alright, We were just... See, I entered rock and roll purely because of the fun angle. And then all of a sudden, there was a business side of it that I didn't really want to take full control. I didn't want any control, fuck that business shit, man. Just give me cocaine and drugs and a flash car and a nightclub and a couple of groupies and I'll be sound, and a gig now and again. But what happened was that all of a sudden we were forcibly, no way around getting around this, we had to get involved in business somewhere, which was, we didn't have a clue. It's like fucking telling a kid to play for England football team and he's never kicked a ball in his life, It's a different game entirely. We were there like cheering everybody on, we were the kings of the night, We didn't have a clue, we could not, four guys, Geezer had a little bit of an idea, but whereas it is now I am Ozzy and I am kind of controlled with my wife Sharon, and we got it kind of organised. With Sabbath, there was 4 individual people who everyone wanted to be better than anybody else with a business side.
It was like kids, really, yeah.
Kids playing grown-up games, man. We were fucked up, junked-out kids, man. All of us. And we couldn't. We after getting rid of the manager, we had attempted badly to try and manage ourselves, and we couldn't manage a piss up in a brewery, to be quite frank. And I'm not putting Black Sabbath down because it's only after leaving Black Sabbath that I realised what an influence and effect we had on rock and roll today, you know.
Right. Yeah, it's the placement. It's the placement in history and the appreciation you have of it that interests me.
After the event, though.
Yeah,
but at the
back,
time,
when you look back now, can you look back and say, yeah, we really do mean as much. We did mean as much as Led Zeppelin, and we did mean as much as like Cream, and 10 years after, and those bands.
We never. You see, when you're in the camp doing it, you ask Metallica in 20 years' time what they think of what they are now. I mean, it's like a real weird feeling because it's like. I just fucked around now. Sometimes I listen to some of the old Sabbath stuff and I think, how the fuck did I come up with that vocal line? How did I... Right. Because Geezer was the main lyricist and I used to come up with all the melodies, you know.
Right.
I thought, what the fuck was I on? How come I thought of that, you know? It was really verging thoughts. It was like really a weird... The combination of Sabbath has never been the same since we all split, since the four of us stopped playing, and it never will be the same again. Even if Tony Iommi gets a new Sabbath line and it's a #1 album and all, it'll never be the same thing again. I mean, I never like to say that it'll never happen because you don't know. Look at Fleetwood Mac. They also said when Fleetwood Mac first split up and Jeremy Spence left and Peter Green that it would never be the same, and yet they got bigger. But it was a different area. Right. I mean, it's just called Fleetwood Mac, but it was a different style of music entirely.
But time's elapsed since then. There's too much time gone by between the.
You know, one of the things I've learnt from our lady, she says, people are never dead in this business. Out of the blue, somebody of 95 comes out of the archives with a great record, and you go, fucking hey, man.
Roy Orbison was under a big comeback when he was
yeah. But I tell you one thing, whatever anybody wants to, whatever I've said, and I've said a lot of pretty heavy things about Iommi in the past. One thing I will say about the guy, he was, and he always will be the master of metal riffs. I mean, there's no one in this fucking world to touch him for his riffs.
Nah,
and for a guy with two fingers chopped off, who plays guitar, that ain't a bad affliction on me, you know. He's kind of, I don't know where the guy, I think fucking the guy's got to run out, man, but he comes out with those fucking heavy demonic riffs. I don't know where they come from, I don't know.
What sort of mind breeds it?
I've heard a lot of different bands and I think, fucking hell, that sounds familiar to me, you know.
Well,
but it's I don't get it, whereas people like David Coverdale and other people got pissed off, and Robert Plant got pissed off that people Robert Plant got pissed off that people imitating by David Coverdale.
That was bogus. I thought it was really unfair, actually.
But the situation, I would be honoured. I would be honest if I ever sit down and I think, fucking hell, that sounds a bit like Paranoid, or that sounds a bit like so and so. So I go,
we meant so.
Well, it must have had an effect on society for them to want to still copy it. I mean, that Kingdom Come is fucking blatant, but so what? It's a formula that works, and people still want to buy it. So it must say to me, that was a good idea, and that did work, because if it didn't work, why are people still wanting to do it,
I think with them, though, it's the thing that they don't respect the fact that they've, borrowed. They keep on saying that it's original.
Oh, fuck off, come on, blow it out your shorts. I mean, fucking...
Really?
I remember when I heard that Kingdom Come thing. I was having a massage in my hotel room, and I said to my old lady, and this is genuine. I said, fucking hell, Sharon, what Zeppelin album was this off?
Yeah, and it's like...
It's not Zeppelin, it's Kingdom Come. And I went, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But so what, it just goes to show that the fucking rock and roll is just one big wheel. It goes around and around and around. It's like, and you'll notice every 8 years, first it's Frampton, then Bon Jovi, and everybody tries to get on that wagon, and they all fall off and die. And then a few people, it's like,
Oh, it is a cycle, and Metallica's probably bringing back the old Black Sabbath thing.
I remember touring with Metallica, and for the first maybe 4 or 5 weeks, they wouldn't fucking come near me, and I thought, what the fuck's the matter with these cunts? What's the matter with them? They must be on some fucking mega ego trip, these guys. And then one day I walked down to the backstage, and I can hear fucking Black Sabbath music, and I thought, these guys are asking to be fucking thrown off the tour, man. They're taking the piss now. I mean, they're blatantly, I'm waiting for me to come down the drive now, and they're fucking playing volume 4 every time I walk. Right. And I said to the tourman, I said, what's the fucking deal here, man? They don't talk to me. And I started playing my fucking record. He says, You don't understand, Ozzy.
That's probably what it says.
They don't understand, man. They fucking think you're the fucking end of the world. I mean, this and talk about a fucking double take. I mean, I never, at that point, never did I ever believe that Black Sabbath had influenced anybody musically. I mean,
that's a great thing. I mean, the thing is, they influenced probably hundreds more people.
But I never realised it because
still your stuff. I mean, more than the Sabbath stuff. I mean, the first 2 albums. I'll tell you right now, the first album I ever purchased, and I asked this question to a lot of people, was Black Sabbath, and the second one was your first solo record.
But you know,
when you look at your first solo record,
I'll tell you what the fucking, you should say that. The first 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 Sabbath albums, it went from great, then it started to dwindle away. And there's a very similar pattern. Because I don't know why, I mean, it's like,
you feel that with your solo stuff?
Yeah, it's like the first thing was fresh and new, and then Blizzard of Ozzy.
The first 2 albums.
Then Diary of a Madman. I think this album I've just put out now is on not purposely doing it. It sounds more like a Sabbath route than ever before.
I definitely detected a root of the solo record in there.
But it wasn't purposely done. I mean, it was. I mean, Zach is a very intellectual guy in what I'm about. It's very. See, I forget what the fuck I've done. Remember this track? I go, what? I don't remember that. I mean, it's true. And he goes, 4th track, side 1, blah 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 blah. And I'm going, I've done so many of them now. I just don't know. It's hard to keep track, really. I mean, I don't know which fucking where I am after that. I remember, rather than making records, I remember places and times and where I was,
Right, yeah.
I don't remember a specific
If
track.
you're in a city, you remember an event which then...
Yeah, I mean, like Toronto, I always think of Never Say Die. I always
San
think
Antonio, you always think of the Alamo to lead you to something, I guess, right?
I mean, you've got to understand that for the last 20 years, I've been nothing but absolutely stoned out of my head and pissed. So it's like, people come to me and go, "Hi, Haz," and I go, "Hi, do I know you?"
I met you one
time. You stayed a week at my house, and I go, "Fucking hell, yeah."
And it's like,
I mean, I'm trying to fit the. I never forget a face, but I can't remember where that face.
You get passes made up where they all have to have their names filled in, so if you meet them, you can. Oh, hey John, how you doing?
I don't fucking remember so many things. I mean,
right. Does that make you sad when you think
No,
of
it doesn't
like
make me sad because I think God acts in weird ways. I mean, I remember places and I remember different. I'll never forget a face, but to put the face with the place is sometimes very difficult. But now I'm sober, I don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk for nearly 4 months now. I've got a program I'm working and I'm doing all right. And it's kind of interesting because things are coming to the surface now, beginning to. And it's like, a lot of weird things are happening to me. And it's a lot of promising things because I don't want to drink or take drugs anymore. I mean, I don't want to fun with that shit. I mean, it wasn't fun at the end of the day,
Right.
And it's like,
I want to go back to just before we carry on. I want to go back to the albums, and you were saying that you feel that the Sabbath was going down. I mean, that's an interesting comment.
See what happened with
in a way, you're sort of saying that you didn't enjoy this album.
This album?
Yeah.
Oh no! I enjoyed making the album immensely, but
do you want to go into a studio where you're not working with 72 tracks, where you're working with 16?
I don't want. Do you know what? Actually, what happened with this album?
I know.
I recorded it with Roy Thomas Baker, and he used it, and I got the album, and it wasn't. I mean, after sitting in the studio for 3 months, you don't know where the fuck you're listening to it, good or bad or whatever. So I took it away, and I thought, fucking hell. I gave it to Keith Olsen, who stripped the tapes down. He says, like, you're a 4 or 5 piece band. You don't need 72 tracks. You're not a 72-piece band. You don't need them,
Yeah,
because all you do is weigh in it, which is right. And what I want to do, I would love to do what I did with the first Sabbath album.
That's what I was wondering.
8-track machine, go in, do it, and get the fuck out.
That's what I'm wondering. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think?
I don't know. I'd like to.
Do you think at this stage, though, Ozzy Osbourne is like such a large organisation, it's such a commercial thing that you haven't got the freedom to go in and do that?
Through it all, believe me, I've still tried to remain as basic as I can with me.
Oh, I can hear it even in your voice.
I
listen to this record, and to be honest, I would love it if half of those songs didn't have as much padding around, and I'd love to hear those songs raw. To be honest, I like it.
But that's, I mean, what happens is, it's like, I mean, you say that now, you listen to Metallica for 3 years. It's a thing, it's a process, it's a process that you have to go through. I mean, if you were to stop with your first record, you become bored yourself, and therefore you have to maintain an interest. I mean, the beauty of Sabbath was...
Is it like a professional thing with you?
Yeah,
You're always
it's just...
looking to improve your song?
No, it's just kind of like... You've got a ship and a rowboat. You know it's going to take a long time to get across, and it's not going to be as comfortable, and it's not going to feel as good than if you go on the ship, you know. It's kind of like you've got a big studio, you've got all this fucking technology, and you might as well go on with a 4-track machine and do it yourself, which you can nowadays. But it's part of your ego building process, it's part of... The whole part of being a rock star is being a rock star. And what the rock stars do, instead of getting the number 9 bus to the fucking 5 bob a night fucking rehearsal, you get a limo, you get a Learjet, you got people running around licking your ass and all that. It's all part of the job. So, in other words, if I wanted to better my life from being simple Ozzy Osbourne in the gutter to becoming Ozzy Osbourne, my makeshift Beatle in my head, would I ever imagine Paul McCartney walking down the fucking Oxford Street with a bag of shit in his hand? It's part of the gig, you know.
Good point, but it's just very few people like to face that fact. A lot of people like to pretend that, no, this is me.
That's bollocks. It's all a game. It's like the fact of the matter is, I've managed to hold on to my bigger part of the cake for as long as I can, and it's still there. And the fact is, I like having fucking money. I love being Ozzy Osbourne, and I like hit records. And I'd love to get a number 1 album. I'd like to sell 10 million albums. But at the same time, I won't sell myself short and start doing fucking poison shit, you know.
Right.
Wearing feathers at my arse and green fucking stripes down the back of my neck, you know.
Really? I mean, why should you?
I mean, totally reflecting back on the last year of the Ultimate Sin, I thought, fucking hell, what the fuck were you on, man? I mean, the glitter and the beads and the fucking bullshit, you know. You know, so this tour, I just wanted to keep it, I want to go back to basics. But you see, the situation goes there again. I mean, I got Zach, who's so knowledgeable about it. I mean, nowadays you can't avoid it because there's so many different effects that if you don't use these different effects, you're automatically dated before you put the record out. Because you have to use a certain amount of cross-phasing and fucking, what they call them fucking things, emulators. You've got to use a certain amount of that because it's the quality of the record that's now being put on the market. Although, as I say at the same time, there has never been a fucking record, as far as I'm concerned, released with the same kind of a feeling and atmosphere as Black Sabbath 1. I mean, that was done in 12 hours in 2 4-track machines.
Yeah, I read that.
Not even done in fucking stereo. 8
like
hours, straight back in the fucking van, went to Switzerland for 3 months to be resident in a fucking bar.